Good Friday morning, Mount Olive family, friends of Mount Olive, all you tuning in to watch another Friday devotion. Appreciate each one of you for taking your time to watch these devotions. I'm gonna share my screen with you. We've had a lot of good devotions this week. I hope you've got a chance to turn into each one of them and listen to them. I found this little graphics called The Immutability of God. And under it, it says God cannot change in his nature, being, character, attributes, purpose, and promise. Now, the world is in a constant state of change, and our lives are in a constant state of change. And isn't it good to know that in an ever changing world, there is one thing that is constant and never changes, and that is God. And for us, that's a good thing. We need a God who is constant. We need a God who does not change. And Pastor TJ, he gave us this theme verse and this statement, show you here. Malachi 3:6, talking about immutability, says, "For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed." And then he gave us this little uh, quote, I guess you could say, immutability. He said, "Living in an unstable, chaotic, ever-changing world, we need an unchanging God." Now, this is a hard concept for the human mind to conceive that God is immutable because our world and our lives are in a constant state of change. We wake up and today will not be like yesterday, nor will it be like tomorrow. Our appetites and our desires change from day to day, and people move in and out of relationships and commitments. What people have today is gone tomorrow. What is new will grow old, and what is in today is out tomorrow. We understand that. We don't understand constant. And that's why some have a hard time comprehending a God who is immutable. But God being immutable adds to the other attributes of God. Now, as we know, we talked before that God is omniscient. Now, what do we mean by that? We mean that God is all knowing. God, he knows all things. He knows the past, he knows the present, he knows the future. God is the source of all knowledge. He knows our very thoughts before we even think them. Man strives to gain knowledge so he can change himself and change his surroundings. God has no need for change because he has perfect, complete knowledge. Job 37:16 says, "Dost thou know the balancing of the clouds, the wondrous works of him which is perfect in knowledge?" And also, God is omnipresent. What do we mean by that? That means that God is everywhere at all times. God is not limited by time or space. God is in all things and of all things. And because he is constant and everywhere, no matter where I go or where I am, God is with me. Psalms 139, 7 through 10 says, "Whither shall I go from thy spirit, or whither shall I flee from thy presence? If I ascend up into heaven, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there." Verse 9 says, "If I take the wings of the morning and I dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there shall thy hand lead me, and thy right hand shall hold me." In Proverbs 15:3, it says, "The eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good." Jeremiah chapter 23, verses 23 and 24 says, God is addressing the Israel here, says, "Am I a God at hand, saith the Lord, and not a God afar off? Can any man hide himself in secret places that I shall not see him, saith the Lord? Do not I fill the heaven and the earth, saith the Lord?" And also that God is omnipotent. That means that God is all powerful. He's almighty. Unlike us, God needs nothing to continue. We need life, we need breath, we need water, we need food, and so on. God needs nothing. God is and always has been and will always continue to be. I call that constant. Colossians 1:16 says, "For by him were all things created that are in heaven that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him. And then Jesus says in Matthew 19:26, it says, but Jesus beheld him and said to them, with men this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. You know, God is everywhere. He knows everything, and he is all powerful. And that is never going to change. The immutability of God, a firm foundation to build on. I hope you've enjoyed this Friday devotion. I hope that you can take parts of it and apply it to your life and help you in your walk with Jesus Christ. I hope you can pass some of it along to others, those who may be struggling, that they can hold on to a God who never changes. He's our constant that we can cling to in a world that keeps changing. Love each one of you. Be much in prayer for Brother TJ. He'll be bringing a message Sunday as we see another attribute of God. And be much in prayer for those who will be coming to service that may have a need for for a Savior, and that they will give their hearts and lives to him this coming Sunday. Love each one of you. We'll see you on Sunday.